Okay, in this video we're going to talk about finding derivatives using the chain rule. And sometimes you see the derivative of a composite function, often referred as the function of a function. And to do this we use the chain rule. So the main idea of the chain rule, as you can see here, that's the general formula. But we'll explain it by doing an example just to see how it works. So suppose that y equals a f of g of x. So here we got function inside a function, function of f, function of g inside a function of f. And to find the derivative of that is we find the outside derivative of f times the inside derivative of g. So it's also called actually inside out, which is you find the outside times the inside. Let's do an example here just to understand it better. So suppose that we have y equals to 2x squared minus 1 all squared, so it's all inside the square. So that means we have two functions, inside and outside, which is the square. In other words, if you want to write it down as the original formula, so we've got f of g of x. So we consider the outside, the inside, fg equals to g squared. So what we consider here is we let g equals the products that we've got inside, the terms that we've got inside the parentheses. So gx equals to 2x minus 1. Let's pretend that we assign it this value, 2x squared minus 1 equal to g of x. And if g is the power of the parentheses, of the product in the parentheses, so f of g is equal to g squared. So we let the inside equals to g and the outside is the f. So the whole thing is g squared. Now what we do, if you look at the original formula, we take the derivative of each one and then multiply them together, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. So sorry about that. So let's say df dg, look at df of the derivative of f of g equals to, well, g squared. If we take the derivative of g squared, it's going to become 2g, nice and simple. Same thing for the g of x. Take derivative of 2x squared minus 1. Well, minus 1 is going to be 0 because any constant would be 0. 2x squared is, we multiply the power, so it's going to be 4x. And now what we do, as stated in the formula, d of f, derivative of f times derivative of g, and that's what we're going to do here. So it's going to be 2g times 4x. And now what we do is we put g in the original form. We put it back in the original form, which is inside the parentheses. So it's going to go back to its original shape, minus 1 times 4x. So at the camera. So after that we just simplify it. We times the 4x with the 2, so it's going to be 8x times 2x squared minus 1, and that's the final answer. So that's the main idea of the chain rule. Now if you want to understand this example more, well, I did it the default way, but I'll show you a shortcut here, make it a lot easier. What we basically do is we always do, we take the power times it with the what's inside with the variable. Let's pretend that the variable is the whole what's inside the parentheses. So it's going to be 2 times whatever in the parentheses minus 1, and we take 1 from the power as we usually do, and then times it what's the derivative of inside the bracket. And the derivative of inside the bracket is 2x squared minus 1, or 2x squared. Derivative is that is 4x, and 1 is 0. And then we just simplify it. 4x times 2 is 8x, and then 2x squared minus 1. So that's, by the way, sorry, that's the derivative, y prime or dy dx. So that's actually a shortcut way. But I wanted to show you how it works first, the default definition and the formula. But then again, you can actually, this way is a lot easier to understand. So yeah, what you do is you take the power and then times it with the what's inside the parentheses, and then times the derivative of the what's inside the parentheses only. That's what you do. So the power times this. Pretend that if you let the parentheses equal to x, let's just imagine that. It'll make it a lot easier. So it's going to be like x squared is 2x, the derivative of that, and then times what's inside the parentheses. And here is 2x squared, so it's going to be 4x. So 4x times 2 is 8x, equal 2x squared minus 1.